All right. Good afternoon, Who That Nation. Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast. This is the host CB. And today's episode, it will be a very short episode. It probably won't be no more than about 6 to 10 minutes long. What I wanted to do, man, I just wanted to get on here and give my flowers to a dog, a legend, Tyrann Matthew. Tyrann Matthew, man, shout out to you. I wish the best in your career. You a 504 legend. I'm glad you was able to, go to LSU. You went to LSU, was a dog at LSU. You went and played pro ball, and then you ended your career back in the 504. Um, that's any person's dream that makes it to the league. In most cases, man, they would love to play for their hometown. You did it. You did it in a classy way. Um, in college it was some question marks, but then you turned it around, big dog, and you didn't have no problems off the field. So I just wanted to salute, man, give my flowers to you, wish you the best in your career. Um, and that's pretty much the flowers I'm gonna give to you, man. I'm gonna give some thoughts that I heard about the retirement from different people. But first, I'm gonna get to the comment section, man. I gotta shout out the comment section. Shout out to the OG Jerry Port said back again. Yes, sir, fam. When I heard this news, man, I had to hop on, man. You know, I'm gonna be busy later, so I just had to hop on when I got time. So definitely had to come on here and pay him respect. Thank you, Tyrann. Absolutely, fam. Shout out to RG Scott in the building. Said who that forever, Honey Badger, and RP to the Oz. Yes, RP to Ozzy Osbourne. I seen that as well. Um, all right, man. You never know when your last is gonna be. Whether it's when death is staring at you, you don't know when it's gonna be your last with anything. I mean, obviously this hit us by surprise. Um, but it's Tyrann's right. He got the right to retire at any time he wants to. So it is what it is. Shout out to Rewind the Time said, thank you, Honey Badger. Absolutely, fam. He also said, Jonas Sanker, you're up. I'll chop a little bit on that in a few minutes. RG Scott said, left on its own terms and in great health. Absolutely, fam. He didn't end his career, trying to beg to get on the team. You got a lot of guys that get washed, and they're fighting to try to get on the team. That agent is begging and trying their best to work out a deal with someone, just fighting to get on the squad. Tyrann left. Honestly, I believe he had some juice left in the tank. I don't think it didn't have anything to do with that, in my opinion. I heard that he recently had a baby, like, within during this off season. So, I mean, you got to think about that. Did he want to go through this process? I mean, if we keeping it all the way hot, we're not. We don't know what to expect from the team, but also it's a rebuild. It's a rebuild, but we just got a few vets on the team, like he was one of those. Um, so he could have just questioned himself: do he want to go through this process at this stage of his career? And he just had a newborn, or do he want to be there with his newborn 100% of the time instead of about 35-40%? You just had a newborn and training camp start. You got to put all your focus in the training camp, and then you barely seeing your newborn, here and there, and then it's going to be time to traveling. Well, the newborn, I'm pretty sure he wasn't going to fly his baby, all across the nation. Not at this point. So I mean, just stuff like that, man. Family comes first. Family comes first at the end of the day. This is a business. So, if he could set well with that, that's all that matter. And like I said, and keeping it all the way hot, far as from a football stand of things, um, I don't blame him if he looked at the situation, and like, well, man, I just had my newborn. Like, do I want to put all my energy into this time away from our newborn, and you know, 9 times out of 10, we won't be contending for a Super Bowl unless just some type of miracle situation happen, and that's what will happen, with this squad. So I think it was more to more to that, but it is what it is though. Far as when the team got notified of the situation and stuff like that, it doesn't matter. Like I said, they they can retire at any point when it's whenever they feel like it. To be honest, I'd rather him tell the team said they was notified, a couple days before, so that's good. They was notified before training camp officially started. So it just is what it is. And with that being said, let me read this. Rebuild in full effect. Hopefully it's a quick rebuild. What I'm gonna do for the next few minutes, as you guys know, the pre-training camp press conferences happened a few hours ago. I tuned into that and I jotted down a few takeaways, and I wanted to discuss that while also, bringing up expectations for the season. So I want to do that, and then that'll be it for today's show. And then I will most likely see you guys tomorrow night to recap day one of training camp. So one more comment before shout out to those new gold jerseys. I got my Kool-Aid McKinstry jersey. Oh yeah, shout out. I'm definitely getting mine, fam. Definitely gonna get mine. Um the thing is I'm just trying to figure out which player I want to get. Because to be honest, at this point, far as getting the AK and the Mario, I don't want to get a jersey and then I don't know if they're gonna be here beyond 25. Regardless of how much juice AK may have, he still might be involved in the trade if the team doesn't start out right and they want to build, get a good draft piece or something like that. So we don't know what the future holds, whether they over the hill or not. So that's where I'm at. I'm undecided of what player I want to get. That's gonna be the hard decision, but it would not be um it will not be Tyler Show or none of the new guys. It will not be those guys. It might end up being a lineman or something, but we'll see. We'll see when as time goes on. I know by the start of the season, what player I want to get. But anyway, moving along, Mickey and Kellen both spoke with the media today. And like I said, I took away some interesting notes from the press conferences. I'm gonna start off with Mickey. Mickey, some key points that I took from there that I wanted to chirp on. He said that the team would look at safety options in free agency. I seen the comment by Rewind the Time said Jonas Sanker, you're up. He will be up. He will be up. But Mickey made it clear that they won't close the door at looking at options in free agency. So if he made that point, then that means that they're going to at least look and try to. I'm not going to say it's a guarantee they're going to bring somebody in because Jonas Sinker could go out there day one and start turning heads. So if you have that kind of situation happen, you want to keep the hot man out there. Whatever young piece gonna go out there, and then let's not forget we also got Jordan Howden. I'm not saying he's starter material, um, but I'm just saying like if all else fails. But if Jonas Sakers need time, I don't want to throw nobody in the fire. Just let the guys go out, compete, and then the best man win. If you're gonna bring a veteran in, like he said, they gonna look at the free agent pool, safety pool, and you know, and see what they're gonna do. So if that's the case, then they may bring a piece in. That doesn't X Jonas Sanker out the equation. That just means that they might bring a safety in. So that's it for that. Another piece that he said, he also brought up the QB room and why a vet wasn't brought to the fold. And his response was basically you have Kellen Moore, you have Scott Tozine, guys like that you already had a lot of QB experience. So he leaned on those guys' experience as being QBs in the league. He's leaning on those experience to why a vet QB wasn't brought to the fold. So he said it's enough QB experience in the room. It may not be from the player, but you got it from the head coach, you got it from the QB coach, offensive coordinator. So all those guys has QB experience. They all played QB in the league. So he's relying on their experiences and relying on them to show them the ropes and how to be professionals and stuff like that and how to prep day in day out. I mean, I can respect that. I mean, I can't go against that. I mean, Kellen Moore was all of them was QBs in the league. So I can't really go against that. Okay, Rewind the Time said Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons. Yeah, that'll be a solid piece. We was looking at him. When was we looking at him? Last year? We was looking at him last year, the year before, and Atlanta got him. So he could be a good piece. Now, I mean, I don't know what style. If they looking for more of a freelance, I believe Tyrann was gonna be more of a freelance in this defense, and um Justin Reed was gonna be more at the line. So if that's the case, I mean, if they might be looking who is the best freelancer, who is the most rangiest safety out of the fold. And I really hadn't looked at the pool. I know Quajon Diggs, he was solid till he went to Tennessee. So I mean I don't know the full pool, but we'll see, man. But yeah, that'll be a solid piece to have. Justin Simmons. Okay, then when Kellen Moore spoke with the media, he said that all three QBs will be competing. He made it clear that this is not a two-man race. All three will be competing in training camp for the starting spot. Now, for me, it's hard to believe. I think he's saying that, just out of respect, just not to put Hannah in the dirt. But like I said on yesterday's show, it's going to take Hannah coming out just going ape crazy in order for him to really get looked at as the starter, as winning the job. I highly doubt they're going to go with him over both of these guys. But hey, man, he said all three is going to be competing. So, and he also said that each day, each QB is going to be with the one. So just say tomorrow, show going to start out with the ones. Thursday, Spencer gonna be with the ones. Friday, Hayner gonna be with the ones. So it's gonna rotate like that. But honestly, I wish it was more of a two-man race. I hope they don't keep it going like that because these are young QBs, man. They need as much rep with the ones as possible. Because how can you really build a chemistry like that if you constantly rotate with different QBs? So, in my opinion, if they want to get the most out of the QB, I think they should have a decision made at least by the second preseason game. After the second preseason game, at least, because if you just keep rotating in and out like that, you got offensive guys that are not getting no chemistry with the quarterback. If you're getting different QBs, so that's also important and to put out there. Shout out to Rose City. Said what up, CB? What up, Rose City? Also, see D Grady in the building. Shout out to you, fam. Said, I'm sorry to say this, but this will be a top 5 draft pick season for us. Hey, fam, I hope. Don't be sorry, fam. I mean, I hope that happens. Wait. I misunderstood that. You said this will be a top 5 draft pick season. So you're saying that we was finished bad this year enough to be picking in the top 5. Uh, I mean, it remains to be seen, but I'm gonna get into it in a few minutes. I mean, far as expectations for the team, I'm not doing that. All I want to see is promise. building blocks and promise. I mean, far as this trying to compete for the division, and if it happened, it happened. I mean, I ain't tripping, but I'm not about to, be like, oh man, I want to get out the NS. I'm not gonna be on that type of time. At some point, and that's what every sports franchise. I'm gonna get on it later. Anyway, Rose City said Saints have waived Dalen Hoker. Was he one of the tight ends? Was he one of the tight ends, fam? Okay, and continuing with the QB, he also made another point. He said he also want all the QBs to have, because all the QBs is going to experience bad days. He said what he's really looking for is how the QBs is going to respond to adversity. So just say we go out there tomorrow, Tyler Show throw 2 picks. I know the only thing the only thing I hope we as fans don't do is just don't be all on the court. I'm talking about like just throwing shots at the QBs and stuff. Man, these is babies out here. These is babies out here trying to get it. I mean, Rattler is too. So if they go out and have a bad day, they got a chance to rebound the next day. Like don't cast them away just because they may come out have a 2 interception day. Because honestly, I agree with Kellen. In those situations, you want to see how your QB gonna respond in those situations. You got to see that part of them. You don't want to wait till the season come out and he throw a pick or had 2 picks in the first quarter and he don't know how to respond to adversity in the NFL. So yeah, we get to see that because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some adversity with all three of them. And then also some other news, some takeaway from the press conference. Far as injury buzz, Taysom and Isaiah Foskey, they gonna start training camp on PUP. With Taysom, I'm not real surprised on that news. Long as Taysom, he gonna be ready for the season. That's all that matters to me. Long as he ready for the season, he got the offense, in check installed. That's all that matters to me with Taysom. As far as Isaiah Foskey, that's not good news for him. I don't know how long he plans on missing, but just I don't know. They said the guy played. He played in a 3-4 at Notre Dame, but my thing is with on DA's end, if you wasn't running a 3-4 defense, why is you drafting a guy that excelled in a 3-4 defense? You was a 4-2-6 defense. So I don't know, man. But we'll see. All that question marks and stuff is over when he get out there. Starting tomorrow, when guys arrive or whatever, we're gonna see the eye test begins. Just like my guy JT said, the eye test doesn't lie, and that's what we're gonna see tomorrow. Okay, so I'm gonna chirp on one last thing, and then I'm gonna wrap this show up. I told you, guys, this was just a pop up show. And then tomorrow we'll really have a deep show like we done yesterday. But far as the expectations, and I just want to put this out there before training camp starts. So whatever happens, happens. Far as the expectation for the team, I heard a person say, I ain't gonna say the names or nothing. I mean, and it's a lot of fans that thinks like this. You look at the Washington Commanders situation, and you seen how Dan Quinn came in first year coach with that team and was able to get his team to the NFC Championship. And you know, you kind of like, well, if he can come in, and lead a first year team to the NFC Championship, why can't the Saints do that? Why can't Kellen Moore come in? Well, the difference between those two guys is with Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn actually is coming in on his second stint. So Dan Quinn, his first year as a head, I mean, his first rodeo as a head coach, it ended as him getting fired. So what Dan Quinn was able to do, once you get fired, I'm pretty sure everybody does this. From the best to the worst player, you're gonna go to your drawing board. You're gonna put you're gonna put write down the good that you brought to the team, the bad that you did as a head coach, what you can improve on, what you can get better on. So then when you get your opportunity again, you're gonna execute the situation. So Dan Quinn, he was able to get fired. He was able to go to his drawing board. He was able to, the things that he didn't do well, he was able to fix that. And it looks like, I don't believe this is a fluke situation. And then they just got Debo up there. So I believe this is a good opportunity for them to be, you know, a solid, consistent team that's going to be competing. I say competing in that division. I ain't about to put them up in the NFC like they NFC contender. I'm gonna say division contenders for sure. So Dan Quinn, he done that as his second rodeo as a coach. The thing with our head coach, he's never had no experience being a head coach, so you can't put that pressure on him. Like, well, if this guy done it, why can't he do it? If you look at Dan Campbell in Detroit, Dan Campbell's first time as a head coach, what was his record? Or how did he do? Was he above 500? Was that in the NFC Championship? It took Dan Campbell a couple years to get that team assembled, and now they are powerhouse NFC contender. I know they took an L last year, but I'm saying they are powerhouse NFC team. So with some people, it's gonna take time. And to be honest, even with Sean Payton, it took time. The first year we got to the NFC Championship, but then the following year, 2007, 7-9, 2008, 7-9. So that 2007 season, you got humbled, and he had to get consistency in the building. So then from 2009, basically 2009 on, the Saints was a relevant contending football team. I know it was a couple times in there where we went 7-9, but I think that was the Bounty Gate stuff. But like besides the little Bounty Gate season and stuff, we've been contenders. But even Sean Payton didn't come in and just made us consistent contenders. After that '06 season, we had to hit rock bottom. He had to, go back to the drawing board, and then he established a consistently contending team. That's what I want in New Orleans. I don't want no fluke year and then we miss the playoffs the next year. Then we I don't want that. I want a consistent contender powerhouse team like we had. And Kellen Moore, I believe he can be the guy. I'm not gonna say he will be the guy. He can be the guy. But I mean, with us, who that nation, we gotta be patient, man. We can't be. And I know I'm saying this, but it's gonna be a lot of Saints fans wanting to. They gonna have that same energy as they did last year. Like we're expected to compete for the division in the playoffs with a brand new. We're looking at New England. New England is going through a rebuild process. They got their guy, the Mayo guy. That was like a little dummy. I don't know why they done that, but they got their guy, and now they're gonna take baby steps. Trying to get back as being a powerhouse team again. If you look around at all these teams, didn't nobody just blossom and become a powerhouse team. So that's how we got to look at this. Who that nation? So at the end of the day, my me having a lot of expectations. What I would like to see from this year's team, I would like to see promise. And what I mean by promise is guys developing. So Tyler showed he can. Whoever the QB is that win, I would like to see that QB play solid where you can see his ceiling will get there. He will reach his ceiling. Not a situation where, he 6 touchdowns, 23 interceptions, like that kind of stuff. It's hard to see a ceiling for that type of situation. Being competitive in football games. I'm not saying we getting blown out 0 to 50 every game. That's really not showing promise. But if we being, somewhat competitive in about half of the games, that's all. I just want to see promise, and I'll leave it at that. If we go overboard, I'm a Saints fan. Of course, I'm on my seat yelling woo woo. But if we don't be over 500, like I said, as long as I see promise with the team. Kind of great said, brother CB and family was good. Badger returned, blindsided me, hurt my soul, but I salute him. He's a real one. Yeah, fam, it was a blind side. It definitely was a blind side, but life happens, man. Life happens, and I don't know what his real reason, but I do know they were saying he just had a newborn, so I'm thinking a lot of that was centered around the newborn. You also said it's going to take some time for us to get back to contending again, and we got to be patient. That is the key. It's not going to happen overnight. That's facts, fam. We can't. We got to be patient. That's the main objective to this. We got to be patient. Who that nation? We got to be patient. But who that nation? I want to thank y'all for tuning in, man. Like I said, I just wanted to get on here for a couple minutes and chop up the breaking news. The breaking news was Tyrann Mathieu returned, and once again, Tyrann Mathieu, man, I want to salute you for having one hell of a career in the NFL. You are one of the, and really saying that you are top 10 safety all time. I think I'm going too low with you. You might be a top 5 safety all time. I have to do my homework, but you definitely are one of the greatest safeties that's done it for sure. And you might be top 5, and I'm being honest. So, man, shout out, one hell of a career. I would have loved to see you play this year, but it is what it is, man. Family comes first. Family comes first. And the OG, absolutely. I forgot. Jimmy Graham also retired today. Who that nation? And he said he wants to retire a New Orleans Saint. So shout out to him for that. I'm pretty sure Tyrann is want to retire Saint as well. So, man, shout out to both of those guys. Jimmy Graham definitely the history we had with Jimmy Graham. He was on our winning squads. I wish we was able to give Tyrann some winning teams, but it is what it is, man. You can't always get everything, man. He was fortunate enough to be able to come back and play for his hometown. That was a good thing. You know, if we would have been a few years past this year and just say he was a few years younger, maybe he would have been able to get a winning team with us. So we'll see. I said we'll see with this comment. My fault. I thought I put it up. I think Trey Smith season coming. Go with that. We'll see, man. We'll see. Oh man. Okay, shout out to my guy. Leslie said, "What up, CB?" Shout out to my guy Leslie, man. It's definitely been a minute. It was time, man. I need that Cam Jordan notification next. I'm gonna be honest, man. Cam should have been the first one out. That's who should have been out. And what I'm thinking, fam, I'm thinking they about to mess around and insert Cam in the starting lineup. To be honest, I won't be surprised if this man is one of the starters. But yeah, I've said that. I said that this all season, man. It's Cam's time to hang it up. But like I said, I don't know what his vision is. If they plan on playing him on a snap count and he okay with that, then I guess that's fine. But if Cam Jordan is our starter, one of our starters, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's I'm gonna be pissed at the other guys that's been out there fighting. The other guys that's out there competing. So that means you let a merely washed up Cam Jordan beat you. So that's basically what that's gonna say. But anyway, who that nation, man, just be sure to like, subscribe, follow the page. Leslie, I know you just hopped in, man. I was just doing a pop-up show, man. I heard the news of Tyrann retiring as a Saint, so I just wanted to hop on here right quick and give him my flowers. And also we had the press conference, so I had to trip on that for a few minutes. But man, once again, salute to Tyrann Mathieu, man. One hell of a career. And last but not least, who that nation? Training camp begins tomorrow. The eye test will begin. Let's get it, who that nation? This the host CB and I'm out. Who that?